Today we're going to take a look at how the world's best darts player helped an amateur player go from pub to pro. In April 2012, it was announced that Phil Taylor would pay for 16 amateur players to attend 2013 PDC School, allocating the slots via the brand new Team Taylor scheme, a set of competitions and finals held in Riley's clubs across the UK. Riley's had many darts venues popular with top amateurs all across the UK, and so the link-up with the Power was a perfect match. By that time, the Bars had already hosted qualifiers for the UK Open for 3 years, including in 2012 when Stephen Bunting, who that year managed to win 2 majors in the BDO, came through one of the Riley's events. Entry to this new Team Taylor scheme cost just £10, and Taylor said that he'd have been one of the first players to enter something like it 25 years ago, and if he didn't succeed in the first year, he'd have paid a tenner until he made it. The first final event took place in September in Wolverhampton and featured 60 players from the total 700 entries. It was won by John Burgess from Taylor's hometown of Stoke, and also saw Darren Beveridge, Jay Wilson and Mark Robbins secure one of 4 Q School spots. After that event, the Team Taylor name was scrapped and replaced by Redtooth Darts, although Taylor would still be heavily involved. The final 12 Q School places would be decided at a national final after a 10-week set of local seasons. It was also announced that the top 2 players at this national final would get to play on the Ali Pali stage for the chance to win the Team Taylor/Redtooth title and a trip to Hamburg to watch the World Cup of Darts. Over 270 pubs across the nation took place in the scheme, hosting events for a National Skill League, which was won by none other than former PDC Pro and World Championship semi-finalist Chris Mason. This was awkward, as Mason had a famous argument and incident with Phil Taylor at the 2007 World Championship, but Chris said that he'd apologised and that it wouldn't be awkward. Chris didn't make it through the national finals in Leeds, where a further 12 players from 64 secured their Q School spots and were given the chance to practice with Taylor. Steve Rice, seen here on the left, and Paul Amos on the right also secured the spots in the Ali Pali final. It was Paul Moo Moo Amos who won the game on stage at Ali Pali with a 4-0 win over Rice. Amos was clearly the best that Team Taylor had found, and he was the most likely of the 16 to get a card at Q School. He even already had PDC experience, winning 3 games at the 2012 UK Open, where he managed to beat the Wanderer Wayne Jones before narrowly losing to Vincent van der Voort. In total, 14 of the Team Taylor Redtooth qualifiers chose to make use of the Q School entry, and it was only Amos who managed to win a card. He went on run to the quarter-final on day 2, where he only lost to Daryl Gurney, and last 16 on the 4th and final day, where he lost to one of Asia's best players, Ryden Lamb. Those runs saw the man from London finish 5th on the order of merit with 14 points, securing a minimum 2-year stint on the PDC Pro Tour. At the time, he was still working as a self-employed carpet fitter in the capital, but managed to practice 3 hours a day and attend tournaments around the country with the help of sponsorship from Redtooth. Paul said that being called a professional sounded strange, as it hadn't sunk in yet. He said that when starting the competition in September, he'd never dreamt of getting that far, and that he wanted to turn pro since he was 14. Amos made a good start to life as a pro, picking up £1,800 from the 8 UK Open qualifiers, securing him a bye through to the second round of the major. At the Players' Championship event held just before the UK Open, where he was knocked out in his first game after a 5-1 loss to Adam Hunt, Paul managed to claim his first big scalp, beating Dave Chisnell to move through to the last 16, a good run for a new tour card holder. That saw him pick up £1,000 and take his prize money to over £3,000. He was praised by Redtooth after that run, who said that they were backing him all the way. On the next Players' Championship weekend, Paul won his 2 first-round games before going out in the second round twice, once after being whitewashed by the man who got him to Q School, Phil Taylor. Paul said that Phil gave him some tips about his throw and practicing after the game. Next up for Amos was a Eurotour event, the Gibraltar Darts Trophy, where he managed to pick up his first PDC stage win, beating 22nd seed former BDO World Champion Mark Webster 6-4 before agonisingly losing out in a deciding leg to Peter Wright in a game where Paul missed a match start. After a few months with no events, Paul then managed to get revenge on Peter, beating him at a Players' Championship event. He then managed to beat another world champion, John Part, in a deciding leg at the German Darts Masters before losing to Steve Beaton. He failed to qualify for the World Championships at the end of the year and ended the season ranked 94th in the world, having earned just over £7,000. He said that his aim for year 2 was to break into the top 64 in an attempt to keep his tour card and avoid having to go back to Q School. His 2014 season was much tougher, and Amos failed to make it past the last 64 of any non-qualifying event. He also failed to qualify for the UK Open or any Euro Tours. The highlight of his disappointing year came in May at a Players' Championship weekend in Crawley, where, after losing out in a deciding leg to Wayne Jones on day 1, he sensationally managed to beat Gary Anderson, who would go on to win the World Championship at the end of the year before losing to Moreno Michels. He called that a 0-0 moment. After failing to qualify for the World Championship again, he ended his second year ranked 85th in the world, losing his tour card and therefore his professional status. He said that he'd loved every moment on the tour, even the downs, which he felt would make him a better player going forward. He said that getting to play the people he'd looked up to had been a dream and thanked Redtooth for their support. He attended Q School at the start of 2015 and managed to win his first game on every day, but didn't make it past the last 1-8 once, meaning that he was unable to get enough points to regain a tour card. Amos hasn't been back to Q School since and hasn't appeared in the PDC since 2016, but he had a dream run as a pro and proved that you can go from a pub player to playing on the Pro Tour. Another player who went to Q School in 2013 through the Team Taylor scheme was Edinburgh's Darren Beveridge. Darren continued to pursue his PDC dream and managed to win Challenge Tour titles in 2019 and 2021. However, in 2021 he was left disappointed after missing 6 match starts to win the entire Challenge Tour and secure a tour card. He eventually managed to win a card at Q School at the start of this year, over a decade since his first crack in 2013. Darren has since signed a contract with Unicorn Darts. He also produced one of the most memorable moments of Q School this year, taking out 170 finishes in back-to-back legs in a game against Greg Ritchie. That's crazy. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know anything about the other 14 Team Taylor qualifiers and if you'd like to see a video about any of them. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, as currently just 15% of you are. I'm also trying to hit 15k before the end of the summer, so every little helps. Also, leave a like and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so that you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video.